Metal phantoms rise from shadows dark. Stegazoids march hearts of spark. Claws and teeth in deadly dance. Blue guardians ready, last chance. Stars above clean red with red. Zoidstar's fates on a razor's edge set. Blue Zoids roar, engines hum. Mutations wrath must overcome. Fights for Zoidstar skies ablaze. Stegazoids fierce in endless maze. Red mutant Zoids, they bring the night. Blue guardians ignite the fight. Lasers blazing, neon lines. Metal screeching, wars designs. Gears and oil, blood and bone. Planet Zoidstar, hero zone. From the pits, nice mutant screams. Beneath moons, pale beams. Guardians stand Stegazoid pride. Raging against the crimson tide. Blades clash, sparks flare. Robotic legion, endless nightmare. Little hearts in the steely chest. Break the dark, give it what's best. Blazing neon lines, metal screeching wars designs. Gears and oil, blood and bone. Planet Zoidstar, hero zone. Oh God, the fight. Stegazoids march, hearts of spark. Claws and teeth in deadly dance. Blue guardians, ready, last chance. Stars above, clean red with threats. Zoidstar's fate on razor's edge set. Blue Zoids roar, engines hum. Mutations wrath must overcome. Fight for Zoidstar, skies ablaze. Zoidstar's fate on razor's edge set. Zoids roar, engines hum. Mutations wrath must overcome. Fight for Zoidstar, skies ablaze. Stegazoids fierce in endless maze. Red mutant Zoids, they bring the night. Blue guardians ignite the fight. Lasers blazing, neon lines. Metal screeching, wars designs. Gears and oil, blood and bone. Planet Zoidstar, hero zone. From the pits rise mutant screams. Beneath moon's pale beams. Guardians stand Stegazoid pride. Raging against the crimson tide. Blades clash, sparks storm air. Robotic legion, endless nightmare. Blue hearts in the steely chest. Break the dark, give it what's best. Blue guardians ignite the fight. Blue guardians. Stegazoids for skies ablaze. Stegazoids fierce in endless maze. mutant Zoids, they bring the night. Blue Guardians ignite the fight. Blue Guardians, pictures blazing neon lines, metal screeching wars designs, tears and oil, blood and bone, planet Zoidstar, heroes zone. From the pits rise mutant screams, beneath moon's pale beams, Guardians stand, Stegazoid line, raging against the crimson tide. Raging against the crimson tide. Blades clash, dark storm air, robotic legion, endless nightmare. Blue hearts in the steely chest, break the dark, give it what's best. Zoids got skies ablaze, Stegazoid's fierce and endless maze. Red mutant Zoids, they bring the night. Blue Guardians ignite the fight. Fight for Zoids got skies ablaze, Stegazoid's fierce and endless maze. Red mutant Zoids, they bring the night. Blue Guardians ignite the fight. Fight for Zoids got skies ablaze, Stegazoid's fierce and endless maze. Red mutant Zoids, they bring the night. Blue Guardians ignite the fight. Lasers blazing neon lines, metal screeching wars designs, gears and oil, blood and bone, planet Zoidstar, heroes zone.